If the Chattahoochee will be a word that the Goodwill Lunching will be challenging. I don't know, one of the teams in the adult spelling bee. That's this Friday. We had Ruby Pie on last Thursday to talk about that. We'll have more details on that. We just fired up the live streams, another nonprofit focused in the studio here this morning. And up on our live stream, Marcie Nelson, Executive Director of the North Central Louisiana Arts Council, which we abbreviate verbally into NICLAC. Patty whack, give the dog a bone.
Well, that's a new one.
Hey. Marcie, how are you?
I'm good, Rick. How are you this morning?
I am doing well as well. Before we get into, I guess, event specific, first of all, introduce yourself, tell folks who you are, and give us the 15-story elevator speech. Who's Marcie Nelson?
Oh, gosh. So Marcie Nelson, Executive Director, like you said, for NICLAC. That's the North Central Louisiana Arts Council. A lot of people will remember me, though, from my many years at the library. I'm a career librarian up until recently. I'm a Louisiana Tech graduate. It's how I ended up in this great part of the state. And probably, you could guess, I'm a big reader. And if anybody looks at my Facebook, they'll know I'm a big dog person. Specifically my dog.
Now, is that a big dog or just a big dog
I love big dogs. I used to have a Doberman, big old huge Doberman, but right now my dog is more on the medium size.
Sure.
So.
Well, let's kind of, being a librarian focused and an avid reader, and this Goodwill Lunching, which I like, is a nonprofit organization. Were you familiar with them?
Yeah.
And I talked with Ruby about this, and I have to keep myself on guard that sometimes a lot of times we categorize people and things, and we shouldn't do that. Not every child is hooked on an electronic device. You being a librarian and formerly at the library, talk about the hunger and thirst of the youth that do actually want to read.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're always going to have those kids who are avid readers. Obviously, I was one of them. Now, I grew up in a different time and age in a much more rural area, so having a book in my hand, that was my form of entertainment. But even today, in this crazy social media, digital world that we're in, there are still kids who show up to the library or their school library or digging through their, family collection or whatever that are just voraciously hungry for literature. And the thing of it is people think, books, they probably think of the classics and things like that, but there is just such a broad scope of available genres, formats. I mean, comic books are come back. They're not comic books anymore in our vernacular. They're graphic novels.
But I could read those novels.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't keep them on the shelves. If you don't believe me, go visit the library during the summer and walk in that children's room and see how much space is on those shelves because the books are in the hands of kids. It's crazy.
Marcie Nelson is our guest. She's the executive director now, the new executive director of the North Central Louisiana Arts Council. And by the way, congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I think they made the right hire because they've had some great executive directors over. How old is NICLAC? Is it 30 plus now?
1987.
1987. I can't do the math that quick in my head.
So it's 36.
36.
36, yeah.
All right. So who are you as an organism, and what do you do in the focus so that folks can say, you know what, I need to pay more attention to any time the North Central Louisiana Arts Council does something?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, we nurture the arts. That is our mission for the area. We want to connect with artists and connect artists to our community. We also want to make art access available to as many people as we can in our region. Whether that means breaking down financial barriers or just simply creating opportunities to create or to see creation in the making. So that's our main focus, is anything arts related. And then through that, we dabble into like arts education, exhibits, programming. We just wrapped up summer art camps. I had 83 kids over the course of 4 weeks, and it was a huge success. So we're constantly trying to nurture the arts here in our area.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from the great parish of Catahoula.
Way down yonder in Catahoula, the Catahoula Parish.
You blink, you miss it.
And I know. It's Sicily Island in there.
Sicily Island is where I went to school. Yeah,
I've been there. But the reason where I'm going with this, you came to Louisiana Tech and stayed, and we're grateful for that. And One of the things I noticed, I moved here in '82, the vibe of the artisans, the artists, and the makers in Lincoln Parish, but also in North Louisiana, is greater than what one can initially perceive.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
absolutely.
And I don't know what that is or why that is, but I'm grateful that it is.
You know, I came up here many years ago in 2007, and just since then, the growth that this area has seen in the arts. I mean, go to downtown Ruston, you throw a stone and you're going to hit an arts organization. We got the Dixie, Fringe, we got the Collective, you've got Fine Line, you've got Creative Exchange, Ruston Artisans. Everywhere you look, there's art. And you can go to any restaurant around here and there's art on the wall. And it's
That's
probably
right.
a local artist too.
You know, one of the things, and I guess that's part of why we need a voice such as NCLAC promoting the arts is, you know, you go to a restaurant, you're going there primarily for food, and maybe you don't notice the art. You know what I mean? It's just on this. It's just there, and it fits so well in, it doesn't point itself out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, I mean, to carry on that point, speaking of the Dixie, that's where you're housed at
Yes.
this point in time. They got this huge mural on it, and now we're becoming like a mural capital
Right.
of Louisiana.
Well, go to any thriving downtown area in our country, and there's this big push, you know, for these Main Street, you know, America renovations, appreciating our history, but highlighting our future as well. And doing murals, it's like it draws you. And then you go, oh, wait, this is on the side of this really cool older building. What is this? Let me go in and start asking some questions or see what they offer. You know, so it's a nice little blend of our past with our future. And I think, you know, people appreciate that.
I see what you did there. It draws you. The drawing draws you.
Yeah.
Marcie Nelson, the Executive Director of the North Central Louisiana Arts Council. You can find out more online, NCLAC, nclac.org, nclac.org. All right, so I had my graphics ready for your show this morning, and there's an event that's coming up. It is the largest fundraiser, or I should say fundraiser, and it's called Artoberfest, and you had a call for volunteers. Spirit of volunteerism is very, very healthy here in North Louisiana. Brag on that.
Yeah, so I saw it a little bit when I was at the library, you know, getting to work with different organizations, people coming in all the time asking, do you have volunteer opportunities? And now working for a nonprofit, I think it's just reaffirmed what I was seeing in that career. You know, we did a call for volunteers for Oktoberfest, and we've had people historically volunteer every year, and they always come back. You know, there's that dedication, but we've gotten some new people in as well. The call for volunteers went out, and those slots started filling up pretty quickly. We're still accepting volunteers, but I don't think I'm gonna have any shortage of helping hands, and that's a wonderful thing.
That is a wonderful thing. Let's just tease the audience because we're going to have you back before this big event. It's going to be October 20th. Save the date. It used to be or started out at the Norton Building,
Yeah.
but now it's at the farmers market. Am I right? Give us a brief on the details of what it is.
So Oktoberfest is basically a one-night festival type feel. Of course, it comes from Oktoberfest. That's our inspiration for it. We host home brewers, microbreweries, as well as some commercial brewers. You get to come in, go through the beer garden, taste from all of these options. It's a good time. There's food trucks. There's live local music. We will have artists on hand actually creating art for you to watch while there. There will also be an art auction. So that's another way that we will plan to sort of integrate more art into it and support the funding. But it's a good time. You get to come, have some food, have some drinks, hear some good tunes, see some beautiful art, and just enjoy being a part of a community.
That's right, and getting your feet out from behind the computer monitor and out from wherever it is you domicile to get to a place where people are. That creates even better community.
Excellent.
And so it's a great vibe. Tickets not on sale yet.
Not yet.
Are they? Okay, so we're going to tease on that.
Yeah.
So let's also tease the Art on 45 project. What is that?
So Art on 45 project is an exhibit. It's a fundraising exhibit. It's an initiative started by Christiane Drayling, 7 years ago. I think this is her 7th one that she's doing. She has teased that this will be her final one, and we are honored to have been selected. She came to the organization and wanted to know how she could support us. And we mentioned that, we're constantly trying to do programming, and we mentioned breaking down barriers so that we can create art access for all. So she latched onto the idea of our summer arts camps, and we just did those, like I said, recently. And she wanted to support next year's camps. So whatever money comes from that exhibit will nurture our camps for next year.
Yeah, I mean, you're a 501c3 or a nonprofit, so any and all funding is appreciated. The Art on 45 will have more on that. I'm intimately acquainted with that because as I take this is an award I got from the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters of my interview with Christiana Drayling. And that was just a neat thing because the people around the state of Louisiana, they did not know what that was. And so, yeah, we're going to be all over that. The Art on 45. That's going to be next year.
Yes,
right?
It'll be in the spring of next year.
Okay, so folks are now aware of the North Central Louisiana Arts Council. The Arttoberfest is coming up. Is there anything that we need to, like pressing matters before that date?
Before that date, so right now this is still tied to Arttoberfest, but we're still accepting sponsors for that event.
Okay.
So any local organizations or businesses who wish to sponsor, they can reach out to me. You can email me at info, that's info at nclac.org, or give me a call up at the Dixie. So we're still accepting sponsors. We're still signing up home brewers. So if there's any local home brewers who hear me, y'all go in, get your application filled out. It's all on the website. And it'll come straight to me and we'll follow up with you. So yeah, those are the main things before Arttoberfest is just the planning period.
All right. So I've adopted this, hashtag, let's create a remarkable future. I mean, a lot of folks are paralyzed by the past and they're not sure about the future. Let's create a remarkable future, and this is a great opportunity. The North Central Louisiana Arts Council, knowing what I know about you, is all ideas are welcome. They may not be implemented, but that's how you co-create.
Absolutely.
Bring the ideas.
We, again, coming from the background that I have, it's important to be engaged in your community.
That's right.
The whole reason we are here is for our community. So we're happy to, take any kind of recommendations, spitball a few ideas. If anybody's got anything they want to throw my way, I'm happy to listen. I'll do my best to do what I can.
The reason why I'm smiling, I don't know if you have these, and I'm going to tell the story, and for whatever reason, Colette Binkert is her name. Colette Binkert. I grew up in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. And on the school bus home, I think I was in 4th grade. We had big pens and you do spitballs,
Oh, gosh.
Did you ever do that?
No, I was a good kid.
Plus, yeah. I mean, so I'm sitting there bored out of my skull, and Colette was, 4 or 5 aisles up on the right, and Colette was just a talk. So I'm like, I took out my big pen, wadded something up. It landed right on her tongue.
Oh, no.
And she reached in, looked at it, threw it down, and she just continued talking.
Lesson wasn't learned.
It was the best shot of my life that nobody ever saw, and you used the word spitball, so you jogged
Triggered
a
a memory.
Yes, you did. All right, Marcie Nelson, no stranger, you're going to be here because we're going to be helping out the Arts Council, Arttoberfest coming up, Art on 45. Any other closing thoughts or words that we can...
I would just say for anyone who isn't familiar with NCLAC, go look us up, look up our Facebook, follow us on, or look up our website, follow us on Facebook. See what we're about, if you've never gotten to work with our organization or come to one of our events, make a point to come check it out. And just get to know us a little bit.
And we were talking briefly off the air, change is hard for some because people are hard to change. But the change that has happened with Barry Stevens and the Northeast Louisiana Arts Council Lincoln Parish has fallen now under their auspices, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's a very good thing.
I think it was a great decision. by the state to make that move. Now, that's no shade to the Chirac region, which we were
Sure.
in. It's just when you want to look at it from a logistical standpoint, gas is expensive, and driving to Shreveport versus driving to Monroe's a little more accessible for us. I already had a great relationship with Barry through working through the library. That Region 8 has always been welcoming
Right.
to anyone outside of the
Right.
region. So they've been wonderful to work with.